Good afternoon, everyone. We'll be doing an audio check at the start of the show. As soon as I hear it go live on the speaker, so to speak, we'll know if we're doing well. How's everyone doing? It's a Friday afternoon. Yep, audio is good. So, sorry for last week's miss. I felt last week's short show, I should say. I was so miserable. My allergies were exploding. I had trouble sleeping, and I had some real life crap with the crazy hammer lady, and then the electricity with my apartment. It was just a long, miserable week. And on Friday, and you guys saw me, I was kind of trying to find dozing off in the middle of the show like 5 times. It was such a weird, like my mind was literally blanking out. I was like freeze pausing in the middle of talking and all. Um, so it's 3 o'clock. I don't have anything to open this week. I think my comic book order is coming sometime Monday or Tuesday. I'll hold off on that one to the Friday, basically. I'm probably gonna do a side order, so maybe I'll have hopefully for the next 2 weeks I'll have something cool to show off. What else? Interesting. So I'll try to stretch things out to 3:05. To give anyone time to log in. You can see the first thing we're going to talk about when we start talking is already on the screen, and I will give some history on that. Other than that, I guess we could talk about, media hoaxes. This is a little political, but I do occasionally talk about this. So I'm going to give you, so for example, the media tried to start a hoax about the bloodbath. Used the word bloodbath by President Trump, right? And they tried to say he was saying if he had been elected, it's going to be a bloodbath, and implying that he was going to start some sort of violence and wasn't elected. But what he in fact was talking about, which anyone who was saying would have went to look at the original clip, is an economic bloodbath, which is quite common to use that term. And one immediately the people decrying President Trump said, "Oh, bloodbath was never used in that way." There were mass clips of all these people claiming it was never used that way, using the term themselves, popping up all over X and whatnot. So, long moral of the story is, whenever you hear something, you need to listen to sources from all sides. Go to left-wing sources, right-wing sources, centrist sources, foreign sources from other countries. Get all the information and piece together your own conclusion. Okay? Because all these people who live in a left-wing cult, for example, or would have heard the speech, heard the 30-second of the speech that the left wing promoted, and be going, taking the approach that Trump wants to start sort of violent, psychopathic, blah blah blah, if he loses the election. And there's a right wing extremist which says that there's a vast conspiracy. Well, no, there are right wing versions that happen too, by the way. Like the whole Candace Owens versus Ben Shapiro thing, going on. That's a right wing cult type of thing. And the world is complex, and you need to listen to multiple sources. But here's the critical thing. I had a bit of a debate of this with my good friend Roman last night on Roman Empire Show. He doesn't want to hear like the opinions of people who are, say, entertainers give their right. I'm okay if anyone states their opinion as long as they're stating reasoning for it, right? So if Susan Sarandon, for example, is a very left-leaning person, but when she comes out to make her case, she'll try to use some bad, in my opinion, logic and cite some facts to try to make her case, right? Whereas Robert De Niro, great actor, but he's a moron, and he just says overall, Trump is evil, he's worse than Hitler. Blah, blah, blah. He just states his opinion but it's not based on any sort of facts. So if someone who disagrees with me is willing to state their opinion with facts and cite things, like for example, I listen to Jimmy Dore a lot. I disagree with him on a bunch of stuff. Well, I agree with him on some stuff too. But one of the things he disagrees, he won't just name call and whatever. He'll bring up some facts and some things people say and whatever to try to make his case. And that's the point. We in a public space, or even in a private space among each other, you should always try to use some sort of logic and facts to make your case, not just based on emotion. And that's the gist of the message I'm getting. Without getting into the details of all of it. So that's 305. Let's get going with the articles I want to talk about. So on the screen we have Donnie Yen led Kung Fu has franchise hopes, right? So what is Kung Fu? Kung Fu is a TV series that Bruce Lee sort of prototyped, I guess you would say, worked out. He wanted to be, yeah. He was really, as soon as I start talking, I start yawning. I don't know. Maybe it's a sign, a sign that we're living in a dream. So Bruce Lee made the prototype or workup or whatever for several different series. One of which is this TV show called Warrior that was just completed 3 seasons on Cinemax/HBO, and now it's been canceled, but it's moved to Netflix with the 3 seasons and a chance I can get a 4th season. Right? That's one of Bruce Lee's series. Kung Fu is another series that Bruce Lee worked up, but unlike Warrior, which took 30, 40, 50 years to come to fruition, this series came to fruition in the 70s. But unfortunately, between Bruce Lee eventually dying and Hollywood having some racial problems, they basically, got David Carradine to play the lead role, whereas Bruce Lee had wrote it for himself. Okay, and Kung Fu is a great TV show. It's about a half American, half Chinese, character. He is orphaned in China and raised in a Shaolin temple. So he learns to be an elite Shaolin Kung Fu master, Kung Fu priest. And he and his master are traveling through the city where the Shaolin temple is that they're in. And one of the emperor's nephews murders his master, not Pai Mei. He murders his master, and in a fit of rage, Kwai Chang King murders him, is forced to flee China, goes to America because he's an American citizen. He's able to get in, and he wanders the frontier of Texas, basically the West. It's a Western style thing, and he uses his philosophies of pacifism, helping others, and Kung Fu, of course, to make a difference. And then there was a sequel TV show called Kung Fu: The Legend Continues about his grandson, also played by David Carradine, also named Kwai Chang Caine, who basically wanders, still wanders, but settles in Los Angeles because his long lost son who he had thought dead, turned out to be alive and is in that city. And Kung Fu: The Legend Continues was pretty good. It was a little more sci-fi fantasy, a little more fantasy, I guess you would say, than Kung Fu itself was. But I enjoyed both shows, right? So then there's a horrible, and I mean horrible, TV adaptation on the CW, pure woke garbage. Okay, and I don't want to get into the whole gender reversal, blah blah blah, but it's like the point of the TV show is to Kung Fu and Kung Fu: The Legend Continues is to avoid excessive violence, to try to work for peace, to work together, to help people who need help. And I watched like one episode and I just couldn't stand it. I just couldn't. So, but now we have Donnie Yen, who, especially when he has some control over a project, he is pretty rigid about making it authentic, right? So, and this article, as it points out, okay, so Stephen Chin from War Dogs wrote the screenplay, while original series creator Ed Spielman will executive produce a new take along. So someone who's from the original series, right? And Donnie Yen was going to want this to be purist, and so forth. So this has a chance to be really good. This movie or movie series, I hope they set it in a time period. I hope they maintain adherence to the actual philosophies and whatnot of the TV show, and we'll see. It'd be nice if they maybe get one of David Carradine's sons in, to do a cameo of some sort. Maybe however, but that'll be a little homage type thing, or maybe get the actor from Kung Fu: The Legend Continues as well to do a cameo, so to show that they respect the franchise, so to speak. So this is a project I have hope for. Okay, we'll have to see in the modern era if anything could be good. There's also some good stuff out there, but we'll see. What's next? So we talked about this about a Roman show last night, and Captain America Voice problems. Fans sick of Disney politics. Well, guess what, guys? This isn't going to have the reaction that we want it to have, right? So what a lot of people say, well, they're sick of Disney politics. Maybe Disney's fine. Listen, no, they're going to quadruple down because of this, and probably edit it to make it even more woke. Okay, because the reality is they need the ideologues who are costing Disney money need to eventually win this ideological conflict and make their cultist Marxist crap succeed and make people start paying for it. Okay, even if they have to force you to start paying for it, which is what they want to do, you know, but they're trying to intimidate people, saying you're racist for not liking it, you're sexist for not liking it. They're trying to psychological manipulation and propaganda. But this survey is going to have the exact opposite effect of what is intended. Okay, it's basically going to cause triple down, quadruple down by Disney to make these things even more woke. Oops, I'll go back there. Oh, no. And even this little highlight of Kevin Feige using strikes to fix Marvel. No, he's using it to make it more woke. They're gonna try to lure people back in with the main characters like Thor if they can convince Hemsworth to play him again, which they probably will able to because Hemsworth. There's a theory out there that Hemsworth is taking some horrible roles because there's about feminism and leftism, and he thinks he should just take them for the team, so to speak. Um, but on Captain America, look here. Marvel changed the title from Captain America New World Order to Captain America Brave New World. So they went from one left wing crazy title to an even worse one in Brave New World. I think, but these leftists, like to the cultists, not to the ones controlling it, but to the cultists, books like Brave New World are manuals of how things should be. And so when they see this, they say, "Oh, this is good. Well, we're going to say, we're going to allude to something that's really good. And people want to read this book, so they must like it and want the world to be that way." No, people read books like Brave New World in 1984 and Animal Farm to look at sort of stories of how things shouldn't be. So, but again, the more the double down, the change, I mentioned. Okay, so that's that. Yeah, we talked about this on Roma and the Empire last night, and I made the point then, and I make the point now. No one wants this film is gonna flop. Okay, I asked Alex Proyas, the director of The Crow, says the original stand, blah blah blah. That's fine and all, right? Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, James O'Barr wrote, I don't know how many, maybe 10, 12, somewhere around that, Crow stories about other characters being sent, brought back by the Crow spirit, okay? And the original Crows 2 through 5 sequels, I think only one of them even tried to use one of his stories, or maybe two, but they very loosely adapted it. And um, if they want to do well here, grab another one of his stories, because the scars all the actors, Bill Skarsgård, all the actors in this movie are top-notch actors. There's no qualification there. It looks like they're putting work into the special effects, even if the look is going to be wrong. Okay, but I'm not going to play the trailer because it's bad. But just get another one of the other Crow stories. I mean, let's just a little side here. The Crow. The Crow. So James O'Barr, comic series The Crow. Okay. So here, there's okay. And yes, the Eric Draven story has been published several times in different comic book companies. Okay. But there are other Crow series that have been done. Okay. And there's no reason not to grab like this IDW The Crow, Skinning the Wolves, or The Crow Curare, or The Crow Pestilence. Those are some from the 2010s, you know. There's, The Crow Death and Rebirth, for example, who written by the guy who co-wrote the original Crow film, but about a different character, you know. So let's go Crow comics, okay? Like, there have been novels written about the Crow concept here. Any one of these could be another movie. Just do it well. And instead, we get basically, we're going to get this crap. Okay, so let's go on to something a little happier. So, Nightwish is probably they're one of my top 5 favorite bands. They became that way maybe in 2014 or so when my musical tastes. I'll always love thrash, Metallica, Slayer, whatnot. I'll always love hard rock, Bluish Occult, Queen, and all, Kiss. But my musical taste, I want to say in 2013, 14, got very heavy into really like progressive symphonic style metal. Okay, so my favorite band now is Winter Sun. Metallica is still number 2, and Nightwish is probably in the next 3, 4, 5 area. I'm not going to qualify it exactly, but they're in there. And now, why is that relevant? Well, the original lead singer of Nightwish is Tuomas Halopoinen, founder of Nightwish. But the first lead singer who came along very shortly after, before they even put an album out, was TARJA Turunen. And then shortly after, MARKO joined the band. And that was Nightwish's two lead vocalists, so to speak, the female lead and the male lead, probably through the late 90s, I want to say, early 2000s, maybe 2003. I don't remember that time. And then there was a combination of financial and career disputes between TARJA and the rest of the band, and they unceremoniously basically kicked her out with a mail letter, with a published letter. There was some bad blood. There still is bad blood, I think, between her and her and Thomas. Okay. Then there was Annette became the lead singer of Nightwish for about 5 to 10 years. She was a really good singer, but for the style of music Nightwish was known for, she's not the right vocalist. Then, of course, the great Floor Jansen became the lead singer of Nightwish in 2012 or so, and she is overall she's the best female. She's a female Pavarotti. She's the best female vocalist of my lifetime. But Nightwish went back to their soaring operatic style vocals with the female lead, and of course Marko HIETALA, the male lead, up until about 3 years ago, was the bassist and male vocalist of Nightwish. And then he left Nightwish for reasons that are disputable. Hey, Sammy, how you doing, bro? If you want to stop in, Sammy, let me know. Otherwise, just hopefully I'll keep your afternoon drive happy. Sammy's one of the new friends to the channel. He and I have met through Roman's channel. Great guy. You should check his stuff out. I'll try to remember to drop a link to his channel into my description later on. So anyway, so then Marko seems to have some sort of falling out with Nightwish because he's done some performances with Floor. They usually do some holiday work together over the years, but not with the band itself. And now these two who did a classic several who collaborated with early Nightwish have released a song, Left on Mars. There's both a music video for it and a live track for it, which are linked in this article. If you like Nightwish, if you like TARJA, if you like Marko, TARJA's solo career is pretty good. Marko's solo career has been pretty good, even before they left Nightwish. I strongly urge you to go listen to them. Okay, I obviously can't play for copyright, but this article should have a link if I remember correctly. There's also some interview in this. They discuss some of the issues that MARKO, like for example, MARKO discusses mental illness, which has been going on, which is part of why he left Nightwish with depression, pressure being a band, blah blah blah. And like I said, there's good. There's some good information about MARKO and TARJA as follows. And here you get the live performance and the music video version of Left on Mars. It's a really good track by two awesome vocalists. Okay, objectively, I don't think the song is as good as their vocals can. I think their vocals elevate the song. I don't think it's not like, you know what I mean. I think not everyone can be a great songwriter. That's the reality of it. MARKO is a great singer, a great performer, and he elevates all the music he sings. But on some of his solo work, for example, you could clearly hear he's elevating some of it. Quite a bit of it. Same thing with TARJA. But anyway, not to belabor it. So it's still a really good performance and a really good song. Right? Okay, so that's a positive musical note. Let's go on to Hollywood Reporter, which normally is a woke pub, but Shatner won't let them. Shatner controls his own destiny. Did a fairly detailed interview with William Shatner on Hollywood Reporter from a couple days ago. Okay, and he talks about a lot of stuff. I'll highlight a few points. About his background, about how he struggled as a young actor, and what and things like that. His start as an understudy for Christopher Plummer in a play. His Twilight Zone episode, and then he has an interesting comment. The one that caught my attention. Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry had strict rules on what was appropriate for his show. Were you privy to what informed their thinking? He was in the military, that means Roddenberry, and he was a policeman. So it was a militaristic view of you don't make out with a fellow soldier. There are strict rules, and you abide by the rules. Around that, the writers had to write the drama. But within that, there was a discipline of this is the way the ship works. Well, as Star Trek progressed, that ethos has been forgotten in more recent shows. I sometimes laugh and talk about the fact I think Gene is twirling in his grave. No, you can't make out with the lady soldier. That is I think that's a legit criticism of even the Trek: The Next Generation. Though they did have, luckily, Troy was of similar rank to Riker and had a previous relationship, and the Doctor and Dr. Crusher had a sort of a previous. So they didn't have, I didn't like I never liked when they were romance crazy in any of these TV shows. There should be more discipline order on the ship, Anyway, that's a cool comment. And there's some other really nice stuff in there about Shatner's career. Strongly urge you to go read this interview. Here's some tragedy. This show, sadly, this is probably... So there was the Kirk Allen serials, right, TV show. There was George Reeves' TV show. Then there was a Superboy TV show in the 90s, like late 80s to early 90s. Then there was Lois and Clark New Adventures of Superman. And am I missing one? There might be a missing one. I'm not remembering. I think it's those four. And then there was Superman and Lois, the Superman TV shows. Through 3 seasons, this is probably the best of them by far. Okay? And Tyler Hoechlin got screwed. When I name my favorite Superman, Christopher Reeve's number 1, Tyler Hoechlin is number 2. Okay, he really is the right actor for this role, and it's sad that this show got crushed by the CW's collapse. It got bad rep because of all the woke crap and all the other Arrowverse shows. They made a good decision when they did this show. Even though he plays the Superman of the Arrowverse Earth, okay, they put this on another alternate Earth so they didn't have the baggage of all the Arrowverse stuff wisely. And this show, through 3 seasons, was really, really, really good with some great moments. And now they're doing a 4th and final season to wrap it up, but the budget is so low that they've had to make most of the actors, other than the core cast, cameo type appearances. They're also moving it back to Metropolis because it's less expensive to film in a cityscape. Where it was set in Smallville, where Superman and Lois had gone to Smallville to take pressure off their sons, one of whom was suffering from mental illness. Okay, and it really progressed well. Everyone predicted negatives, but so. However, there have been some rumors, which Jimmy Olsen has been cast on the show now. There have been some rumors, okay, that if it does well, even though it's a shortened final season, that Netflix, for example, has been fishing around this show, okay, that they may want to pick it up if it does well. So if you guys, I would strongly urge you to watch this show, go out there and support it. Watch the first 3 seasons. It's a really good TV show. Now, the news here is that actor Douglas Smith had been cast as iconic as Jimmy Colson, basically. Now, this Douglas Smith, okay, so this is the Douglas Smith from The Alienist, okay? There's an older actor named Douglas Smith, who I think is a British actor. And again, previously reported the only small cast return in guest starring role, and it regulars with the Kent family made up of the parent. Basically, Tyler Hoechlin is Superman, Elizabeth Tulloch, who is Lois, who's a really good Lois, Michael Bishop, and Alec Griffin, who are the twins. Okay. Yeah, Sammy, it's a shame that this show just got nailed. You know what I mean? It just got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's really, really sad. You know what I mean? Like, we finally get a good Superman show for the first time in 20 years or whatever, and it just gets crushed by a combination of CW collapse, woke crap, Okay, so I strongly urge you to check this article out. And we'll go over to now my big franchises, for those of you who want to know what I'm a fan of, okay? Lord of the Rings, Tolkien's Legendarium, so that's my top. Then there's Godzilla, Naruto, and then there's some comic book characters like Superman, who I love, Spider-Man, who I love, a couple others that I can throw in there, like H.P. Lovecraft. But I would say my big 3 are basically Tolkien's Legendarium, Godzilla, and Naruto. And here's a sort of, I want to say that this is extrapolating from other things, other interviews by Kishimoto. And they're doing a sort of summary article. For example, why cockroaches deserve more respect. Okay, so more significantly, the commitment to diversity and representation in our universe, blah, blah, blah. No, it was not a commitment to diversity and representation. It was a writer writing and creating a logical world with a wide variety of peoples. Okay, he wrote Asian phenotypes, Caucasians, Sub-Saharan Africans, all different types of people, because he wrote a whole world, popular people who lived on different parts of the world, therefore they were all differently. He's an intelligent writer and an artist. Okay. But that being said, this is I recommend reading this, but to give you a little bit of an idea. And the reason it's important is because, with Akira Toriyama passing, Kishimoto is now, now the king of manga writers, so to speak. And I'm not saying, let's see who's texting me right now, guys. Live and random. Oh, that's just spam. I got a spam text. Great. As far as rock, now I did a video called "Why Boruto Sucks," and Boruto sucks for the same reason that Korra, The Legend of Korra, sucks, in that both of them were sequels that shit all over their antecedents. And Naruto, the original Naruto, it's special. What Naruto and Sasuke had to go through to achieve what they did, bringing peace to the world, ending the war cycle of violence that's been going on for thousands of years, and so on. I think Oda has. I think Oda is great there, Sammy. It's hard. I had to be. I mean, I'm a little biased because I never got into One Piece when I tried to read it. It's a little more comic-y, like in terms of humor than I personally liked. You know what I mean? But I respect it. And the reason I say and Kishimoto seems like the bigger one is because Naruto is just pervade. Well, now Oda's probably in a lot of push because of the TV show, right? And unfortunately, Sammy, they are working on a live action Naruto TV show. Um, we I only hope that it's done by someone in Japan, or that and or that Kishimoto exerts rigid control over it, because I can't even imagine, like, because you have to have the cat, like, and he there's some very heady topics that Kishimoto addresses: child soldiers, you know, enslavement, you know, with the Hugo, with both the Biju and the Hugo Branch family, you know, that sort of stuff. You know, genocide, what happened to the Uzumaki and the Uchiha clans, you know, and there's a lot of heady stuff, and he deals with these kids. So I only hope that, then there's, have to have time skips and whatnot. It's a lot to adapt. Well, we'll see. I mean, all we can do is see, right? I mean, maybe they'll. I think One Piece, uh, primarily Yu Hakusho secondarily, has shown that there's a way forward to do live action anime versions, live action adaptations of manga, I should say. Uh, so let's go on to some sad news. I have two bits of sad news. So if you are Werner Vinge, he's a legendary award-winning science fiction author. His big novel, I've only read two books by him. I mean, honestly, I love to read, but you know, I'm 50, about to be 51 in a couple months. My list of books that I have not yet read includes things like not just books, but comic books, manga, even magazines and stuff like that, or gaming supplements. Right. The list of things I have not read that I want to read is so long, okay, that I will never live long enough to read them all. In addition, the list of things that I want to reread is now so long I will never live long enough to even make a dent in it, right? And things keep coming out, right? But anyway, I remember reading A Fire Upon the Deep. Thought it was okay, only because my preferences. His particular style is kind of like make you think science fiction, and at the time I read it, I wasn't into make you think stuff. But I did get into it later, so I might try. That might be on my reread list. He also wrote, I think, another book I liked. Well, it took a lot to get into, but I liked it after. It was The Coming of the Quantum Cats, about uh, quantum mechanics and reality and stuff like that. That was pretty good. What the heck? Oh, uh, happy birthday, William Shatner! 93 years old, young today. There we go, Captain Kirk. So there's a bit of good news in the midst of the bad news. And one of the bit of bad news, you probably recognize this guy's face. His name is M. Emmett Walsh. He's been in hundreds of films and TV shows. He passed away a couple days ago. Uh, Midnight Cowboy, blah blah. He was in Blade Runner. He played Captain Bryant. Um, he played Dickie Dunn in Slapshot. The guy's been all over the place in a lot of stuff. And I would strongly recommend you check some of his work out. He's a great character actor, and he will be missed. Okay, so now we've done our what the heck is this? Oh, okay. We've done our like you would say our science fiction-y stuff, our genre articles. So I got two science articles to talk about. The first is the article is called "What is Emergent Gravity and Will It Rewrite Physics?" Okay, so this is a pretty in-depth article. I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but if you're interested in science and if some of the mysteries that still be investigated, This is worth reading. It's on space.com, so it's written for the layperson, okay? So what is emergence in terms of physics, right? Well, emergence is when you have something, a property, which arises from or derived from more foundational properties. For example, density mathematically is equal to mass divided by volume. Therefore, density emerges from mass and volume, okay? So what that means is the concept in science you're talking about, is it foundational? Is it there's nothing that it can't be broken up into parts that explain it more thoroughly? If it can't be, it's not emergent, okay? So now that's the first thing to understand. The next thing to understand is why there's interest in gravity is because there's two mutually exclusive sets of ideas that currently explain physics, which means and everything else, okay? One is deterministic, the other is indeterministic, okay? What does that mean? Deterministic means that you can predict everything about it via mathematical processes. Indeterministic means that knowing some things about it means you cannot know, it precludes the existence of the knowledge of the other thing. The most famous one is that you cannot know both the position and the momentum of an electron. Okay, meaning if you study its position, to do that, you have to cancel out its momentum, right? And if you study its momentum, you can't observe it in any position because you have to cancel out momentum. So that's a principle of complementarity, and quantum mechanics, that's indeterministic, and quantum mechanics, or what do they call it now, quantum chromodynamics, whatever, is based on that. Gravity is deterministic, okay? So if you want to know something about gravity, you find their position in space, you find out where they were, you can calculate velocity, acceleration, also gravitational calculations and all that is deterministic. You can know everything based on the math. You with me so far? So Einstein's theory of gravity, which is general relativity, is the most verified system in theory in science that is. The very fact that it works is like the very proof of me doing this live stream, for example, is empirical proof that it works. That's accurate. And for everything we have examined that it affects, it is proven true. Okay. The quantum part, but it is deterministic, and they can't make a unified theory of physics as long as you have gravity, which is deterministic, and the rest of the fundamental interactions being indeterministic and quantum, right? So that they need to find a way to reconcile that. And there are multiple efforts to quantize gravity, which is what over the years. And like you've heard of superstring, you've heard of quantum gravity. Then there's another one called modified Newtonian dynamics, which eliminates some of the problems of relativity. All these alternate hypotheses to try to explain gravity in a way that will not make it incompatible at a fundamental level with quantum mechanics. Okay. Well, another approach which they're trying to determine is to see, is gravity not a fundamental property? Is it actually emerged from something else? And if it emerges from something else, can those things it emerges from be quantized? Okay. So that's what this article kind of goes over. And that's important to remember. This is an article about hypotheses. Nothing has been done experimentally or in terms of to in any way invalidate Einstein's work. Okay, and it wouldn't be invalidation; it would be more like creating a theory that takes Einstein's work and explains stuff that Einstein's work didn't. There's nothing that exists that we observe that Einstein's work doesn't cover. So there are theoretical things that hypothetical things that exist, but we can't produce those situations, so we don't know if they really exist, and therefore we couldn't study the effects of gravity in them, right? Okay. Now, why might you want to unify gravity and quantum mechanics? Well, you have to do that to explain what goes on inside a singularity. Okay, that's one example. Okay, so this article kind of covers another idea of how to explain gravity in a way that makes it more compatible with the rest of science. In the last science article, what are we at, 340? Okay, good timing. This is over on Big Think. The Chandrasekhar Observatory, I believe is the technical name for it. It's fully functional. There's no planned successor. It's one of the telescopes in the sky. It's still doing great science. Yet for some reason, the Biden administration wants to kill it. There's no known reason for this, except for the fact that the Biden administration is full of morons. This article will go over. I'll read the reading. Back in the 1980s and early 2000s, NASA planned to launch its original fleet of great observatories: Hubble, Compton, Chandra, and Spitzer. Okay, Hubble and Chandra are still operating today. Range Supremes are flash optical and infrared telescopes, respectively, and still performing world-class cutting-edge science. Shockingly and appallingly, and I agree, the president's suggested FY 2020 budget wants to kill Chandra based on erroneous reasoning with no successor mission even planned. Here's what must be done. This article goes over some of the things that Chandra does, what's going on. If you're interested in science and you're active, I would urge reading this because this telescope should not be eliminated. Here's some of the results. Here's some of the samples of what Chandra has done. The Wikipedia list. It's a radio telescope, so we wouldn't convert direct images. I would strongly urge reading that if you're interested in science. Okay, so that's my planned program for the day, except for one more thing. I try to highlight fan films of some sort, and I got one here. So today I want to talk about Superpower Beatdown from Bat in the Sun. So I've talked about the Lord of the Rings fan films. I found a couple good ones over the years. A lot of really good Star Trek fan films. Who else did I do? A couple others, right? I will hunt down the Dresden Files, these Dresden Files vignettes that are really good. But slightly different vein, we have Superpower Beatdown, Bat in the Sun, where they basically take two characters and have them do a fight. And, let's play through some of this. So I'll keep it muted. They talk about the fight, blah, 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 And eventually they do film a live action of it or an animated version of it, right? And it's very high quality work. So if you want to see some decent versus battles, and then after the ending that's chosen, they'll show the alternate ending where each character could win. Thanks for listening, Sammy, and have a good weekend. So I would strongly urge you guys to check out the Superpower Beatdown. I have that in the links below. So Sammy's heading out. I don't know if I got hopefully some other regulars going on. For the next, so it's 3:45 basically. I will do my thing where I try to find 5 articles that are random to talk about. So I'll do spontaneity, and we'll see if what I can find. So let's close all these up. Okay. So let's check out Cosmic News. Let's see what's Cosmic News. Yeah, nothing I really want to talk about there. Bleeding Fool. The beautiful Elizabeth Taylor playing Cleopatra in Cleopatra. It's a great movie you should all check out. I don't want to go crazy over the Cleopatra controversy, though. Well, it's not really a controversy. It's just nonsense. Bleeding Fool is the exact is an anti-woke site, by the way. Oh yeah. Collider. Not a lot of great stuff that I really want to talk about. Okay, so I'm going to check the show at Devs. Apparently, only lasted one season. Oh, by the way, the Three Body Problem adaptation dropped it a couple days ago. I'm going to check that out. That's based on a Chinese science fiction novel, which is I haven't read, but it's supposedly really good, about dealing with impending how humanity reacts and several different groups react to an impending extraterrestrial invasion of Earth caused by idiots sending signals out into space. So I want to check that out. Let's go to Fandompulse. I did William Shatner's birthday. Fandomwire. Deadline. This is a garbage site. Giant freaking robot. Metal injection. Nothing hopping out in the middle scene over here. Radio Times. My aunt liked this show. I've been getting it for her. Man, a dearth of stuff. Wow. Yeah. Oh, okay. I can talk a little bit about pro wrestling. I've been getting back into it. I've always kept my hand in there, watching matches on YouTube and whatever. I cannot stand current WWE programming. We'll have to see if NXT is. No, I don't think NXT is like this. But in like a 2-hour show, they'll give you an hour and a half of promos and a half an hour of matches. Okay, but if you go watch AEW, they'll in a 2-hour show they'll give you an hour and a half of matches and 30 minutes of promos. Okay, and the in-ring work in WWE is still pretty good. The writing is still suspect. But the promos, oh my God, I can't stand. I mean, I want to see in-ring action. Wrestling is something to be told in the ring. I'm hoping Triple H will get us back to that point where it all operates NXT. It's in the ring. All right, stronger. Check out AEW. Check out TNA. I want to check some of that stuff out. We have a few episodes of that. Ring of Honor. If I don't know if they do. Does Ring of Honor do a weekly show or just specials? I gotta find out. But AEW definitely has some quality matches. Daniel Bryan doing some great wrestling over there. Last couple matches I've seen, you know, and they don't have the same wrestlers on every single show. You know, you'll see different guys wrestling on the shows on a rotational basis. So I would recommend AEW checking out. Now, what do I got going on? I just completed my review, although it should be called like a mini documentary series for Masters of the Air. If you want to check those videos out, please feel free. Some they are 10 bit long, but I do provide links in the description to more information about stuff that happened in the episodes in terms of World War II history, and I add the links go forward. So by the time you're to the episode, if you don't want to read all the stuff to the end, that episode's text will have below will have all the links in them. Okay. I'm still reviewing, of course, Shogun. Great adaptation through 5 episodes so far. Knock on wood. What else? I'll be back Sharp. I'm going to watch another episode of Sharp probably tomorrow or tonight. So my review of Sharp season 3, episode 3, hopefully on Monday. Once I watch the first episode of the 3 Body Problem, I'll decide if I'm going to review it or not. Okay. Could. I mean, it could. I might wind up doing it if I enjoy it. Right. What am I not happy about? You know, on one hand, Law and Order has had some non-woke, like good throwback episodes. Then 2 episodes later, they wokeify it. So I'm just down on all. You know, I'm a Law and Order junkie, but like, you know, whatever. What else am I doing? I won't be on Roman's show this week coming up because the only thing I like about the movie he's doing is Kate Hudson. You know. Be on Jacob Ironside's show sometime in a couple of weeks when we talk about Zulu. But you guys should be listening to his shows and high quality work. I only listen to the first 20 minutes of his First Blood thing. Probably tonight or tomorrow. I'll play the rest of that. I heard the rest was really good as well. So that's kind of what I got going on. Comment down below if you have any questions or requests for me. You know, if you happen to be live and want me to talk about something, you can always throw a link out there. And like I said to some regulars, I have this show is kind of an open forum. If someone wants to drop in and talk to me about anything, feel free to do that for the regulars. You know, in any case, otherwise, have a nice weekend, guys. I'm gonna end the live stream almost 4 o'clock. I'm not trying to do like a multiple hour killer live stream. You know, I'm just trying to, you know, just get my opinion out there. A little Friday afternoon drive. I think that's a good slot for me. And yeah, so have a nice weekend, guys, and enjoy yourself. I am out of here. If you like, please like and share the video out there. Thank you.